morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello, welcome to Challenge Accepted, episode number 9. We're almost at double digits here. This is going to be a show about recapping what happened at PAX East over the weekend. Lots to talk about. Just so many crazy things happened. It was an exciting adventure. We have a new logo, thanks to Mr. Shriggs. He did a fantastic job. So of course, we are joined by the Space Hamster, which is below me. No guest this week. Shriggs is to my right or your left. Tyremus is going to be bottom right or left, depending on which way you're looking at it. Shriggs, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent. Tyremus, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty excellent.
Wonderful. As always, guys, you can follow us on the social medias at Challenge Failed on Twitter, Challenge Accepted without ease in the word accepted on Facebook, and as always, our website, which we're starting to put up articles and other cool jazziness. Challenge Accepted without the ease as well, .com. And that concludes the social media plugs. So, Shriggs, you've been doing a ton of schoolwork. I know that your finals are kind of slowly creeping in. How's that going for you? Do you feel like you're getting stuff done?
My finals are for the most part done. It's just printing them out and cutting them up.
Very nice.
And then putting them together and then displaying them in a gallery. And then going to the gallery and telling people about my process and how it all works. And then I'm done!
So basically, you still have a ton of work to go.
Yeah.
And I see we are joined in chat by Onraz. How's it going, buddy? Appreciate you stopping by. Hello, sir. Tyremus, how was your week? What have you been up to?
Working on things.
Just doing stuff.
I was feeling pretty sick this week. I went to work and I went home and I went to the plant store and then I came home and then I went to bed at like 6.
Oh my.
And I woke up the next day. I had like 12 hours of sleep. It was great.
Wow, must be nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, I feel much better.
That's good.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting for the weekend. I got tomorrow off. I'm gonna wake up at 7 in the morning and I'm gonna get online and I'm gonna start streaming.
Play some WildStar beta weekend.
WildStar.
Yeah, streaming the new interface early in the morning.
Yes!
We're gonna stream some medic time. I don't know. It's gonna be good. Been kind of working on putting content on the website, which has been taking a lot of like the majority of my time and poking around things.
Yeah, the website has been kind of a fun little challenge for us. It's been working for what is that noise? There we go. All right, it's been working for about 4 weeks now since we've actually started like really kind of going heavy on it, and we got some articles up there. Of course, Lisette is writing some. Tyremus, you just posted one. We do have a group of writers that we are starting to gather up and prep for some really good content for you guys over the next couple months. It's going to vary up from lore to PvP to guides to crafting stuff, just basically everything. Of course, Challenge Accepted is going to be focusing on more of the esports side of things. We're going to be trying to bring esports into WildStar and see if that actually comes to fruition. We hope it does because the game itself is very, very much catered towards esports and just like the competitive side of things.
You can tag people and face them against each other. And make sport of it.
It's make a sport of it. Like,
Everyone put your dueling gloves on.
Hey, you know what? If curling can be a sport, anything can be a sport. Come on now.
Curling is pretty.
Got your point.
Curling is pretty hard.
Well, yeah, but okay. If ping pong can be a sport, anything can be.
That's
a sport.
also
Ping
pretty
pong's
hard.
Pretty hard.
Well,
yeah,
more of a sport than curling.
If knitting can be a sport, anything can be a sport. That's hard too. Dang it.
Well, you know what? I would accept ballroom dancing, but like still, that's pretty hard. I mean,
wait, ballroom dancing is a sport?
Yeah, it's an Olympic sport.
Seriously?
Do you mean ice skating?
Yeah, I was about to say ice.
I mean ballroom dancing.
I've never seen ballroom dancing on the Olympics.
This must have been in the 50s or something.
Ballroom dancing, Olympics.
When was the last time they used it?
Yeah, I've never seen it in the Summer Olympics ever. Like, it's just like a Canadian thing?
Gary, give us the date.
Well, hold on. I've got Wikipedia open.
Anyway, while he's looking
give us
for
the
it.
date.
Anyway, I was looking for guys. We are also going to be giving away 5 closed weekend beta keys here, 4 on the stream and 1 on Twitter. So make sure to follow at Challenge Failed on Twitter. That's all you gotta do for the
Tell
Twitter
your
giveaway.
friends.
Tell your friends if you guys weren't able to grab
Or
a,
don't if you want them that badly.
There you go. I know that there was a ton of websites giving out keys. We were able to grab a couple for you guys, and you know, be nice like that. I have no idea where I was going with that. But Shriggs, you weren't on last week, and you missed.
Talk about.
I don't. Gosh, what did we talk about? I don't even remember. It's been such a long week. Gary, do you remember what we talked about?
What were you about to say?
What?
Like, what did I miss then?
That's what I was going to tell you, and then I completely forgot what we were talking about last week. Let me look at my show notes. We talked about the patch notes, and we went into pretty in depth with them. Did you have a chance to look at the patch notes? Just kind of recapping real quick here. Just whatever.
No.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you what you thought about the engineer changes, but apparently you didn't read the patch notes, so that's fine.
Well, I've just been cutting up books and making books and then making a board and then putting little magnets together.
Well, that's your school project, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Also building a website for the web design class, which I'm completely ignoring until this capstone thing is done. It's just way more important to me than that.
So what kind of website are you building for your final project?
It's gonna end up being someplace I can host my webcomics.
Okay, very cool. That sounds exciting. Speaking of webcomics, Shriggs will be making us a comic every 2 weeks for the Wildstar Humors. So that'll be interesting as well. But yeah, guys, just kind of a little bit more information on the key giveaways there. You just gotta follow the channel for the Twitch giveaway, and then all you gotta do is just follow Twitter at Challenge Failed for that. And we'll be giving those away at the end of the show, and going on from there. So. This week we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be recapping PAX East, and just a ton of information, guys. A ton of information has been out over the past weekend. War plots were finally really kind of actually released. I know we saw them last beta weekend, and they were just kind of meh. A lot of people were very upset at the Zerg mentality, but Carbine's like, yeah, that wasn't actually finished. Here's what they're really like. And man, they look sick. They look really good. It's
Hopefully this weekend people will have a better opinion of it.
I think they will, just because the I mean obviously the way that they're doing things is just ridiculous. So the war plots themselves they have over 140 different plugins is what they actually were saying. In the interview, it's funny. DJ Wheat actually interviewed Carbine and talked with him about war plots, which I thought was pretty cool because DJ Wheat's awesome. And the main points to really kind of take away from this is hazards really stop that Zerg mentality play. You can summon bosses from raids and dungeons if you capture them. You can only do it once. You would have to go back and get them. You're not actually able to just keep that token forever, which I think is brilliant because it really kind of does that whole replay value thing.
I think for the purposes of skewing the opinion of the player base, they need to make everything available to everyone when they let people back in war plots this weekend.
Yeah, I think that war plots will be an interesting thing to watch this beta weekend. I know that we're going to definitely see a lot from some of the big streamers there.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially since more and more people are hitting the cap level.
Yeah.
For who's left in beta.
I really wish I was.
The problem is that there isn't enough people to generate the kind of intel on what our queue time's going to be like. How is the mercenary system going to really work? Is it going to work?
Yeah.
And things like that. And so we'll find out. It looks a lot better after seeing what they'd been doing with it. When you actually had resources to spend, and you can make your thing really good. But like watching those videos of people who are at cap and like just queuing up like in the last month or so, and there was nothing in either person's war plot except the generators, and all they were doing was running to the generators.
Yeah, that was
kind of like,
wasn't it?
kind of like, oh well, this is kind of dumb. But it's gotten a huge overhaul from what I hear. It looks it's a lot more balancy and cool.
And speaking of mercenaries, I think we should announce Circle Merc.
What?
Yeah.
What are
We
you
were talking about. I was talking about it the other week.
This seems like a bad idea.
Okay, explain Circle Merc there, Shriggs. Is this a horrible, inappropriate joke that you've had over the last couple of days, or is this an actual thing that you're going to implement?
No, it's an actual thing.
Okay, so explain it then.
On our server, we make a circle devoted to finding stray players who aren't in big guilds or have the time to commit to other guilds that can join a circle and sit there as mercenaries. And whenever a big guild is short on players, they can come to us, and we can pick people out of the circle and pop them into their raid as a mercenary.
Okay. That sounds like an incredibly ton of work. You get right on that, Shriggs.
Oh, yeah. I'm opting out of this run.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I'll find a mercenary to replace you.
I will figure it out. But I like as a guild, since we may or may not have 40 members to start, we may or may not have 40 members that want to get to cap that fast. We're gonna make a war plot thing as soon as possible, and we'll just queue it up with whoever we got, and then we'll get further and further.
Add the mercenaries from the LFG Jewel.
Well, right now I think right now is the hardest to really recruit people if you're not a well-known guild. Because, I mean, we have people like Blank Spaces Guild, we have Death and Taxes, who are, like, one of the original, like, hardcore guilds of MMOs that have been around for years. Like,
I remember following them on the leaderboards in vanilla.
Oh, yeah, they were, like, one of the top guilds in the world for a long time. I know that we're going to have a couple other European guilds, like Insidia and a couple other ones that might actually come back to the MMO scene to actually do some stuff. But like if you're like a smaller guild like we are that is just trying to start a new community, it's a lot harder to recruit just like off of a recruitment post. Because like I'm reading like some of these and like these guilds are like, we're the best. Look at all this cool stuff we've done over the last 15 years. And I'm like, you should join our guild. We have a great community. We like kittens and puppies. And I'm just like, well, I'm like I don't
know, man. It's all about confidence. If you're going into the argument like that, you're getting like.
Well,
I would join your guild unless you're gonna give me a kitten. I'd be pretty happy if I got a kitten. Do I get a kitten?
I mean,
are we giving away kittens?
Do we get? Baz, are you gonna pay us in cats for our work that we've done for you over the past couple months?
Why not?
No.
Sure.
That's a bad idea, Shriggs. Why did you say that?
Pay me.
Do you know how many kittens I would be getting shipped to me?
So
how many kittens?
You'd be like Peter in that episode of Family Guy where he buys a bag of puppies and pours them on himself.
Okay. No, though. But my point was, it's really intimidating for smaller guilds to kind of try and be like, hey, you should look at our guild too, because it's we don't have like the cool background. I mean, all of us have super raiding experience background. Like we've done.
Well, the trick is to take in the people who want to learn to be raiders but haven't really done much of it.
Right. I mean, and that's kind of the whole point of our guild and our community is, we're okay with teaching people that kind of stuff. And war plots is an excellent way to teach players like just how teamwork is so important. I mean, the war plots themselves are objective based gameplay, which is something you don't see a lot in like Zerg-esque type of things. Like in Alterac Valley, way back when World of Warcraft started, queue times were like 3 to 7 hours long. The matches would last 14 hours, and it was just a bunch of just awesome stuff. But as the game progressed, and as the I guess casuals, quote unquote, kind of creeped up and said, "Hey, everything's too hard, make it easy." It's just I'm not entirely convinced that people are going to accept war plots because they're a little bit more difficult than, say, Alterac Valley, Guild Wars 2 World versus World. Or in that kind of stuff. It really kind of takes me back to the old school Dark Age of Camelot when you actually had to work as a team. and it wasn't just this huge like Zerg mentality. Now, yeah, Dark Age of Camelot had a lot of Zerging and that kind of stuff, but you could always tell the coordinated guilds from the non-coordinated guilds because they would just completely go crazy, or the coordinated servers from the non-coordinated servers.
I think in Warplots, most guilds would probably require the mercenaries to at least try to get onto their team speaker for the Trillo.
Yeah. I'll post a question in chat here. Any fun mod ideas you all are noodling around? That's actually a really good question, but I'd have to think about that one, and I'll get back to you. Like, as far as mods goes, I think the modding community is actually pretty solid right now.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
not sure. Like, other than joke mods, like, every time you swing your sword with Warrior, you hear a rubber chicken instead of the swoosh.
that would be annoying as crap, but... Okay, that'd be funny for like the first 15 minutes, and then you're like, okay.
Then you turn it off and say,
Wait,
okay, I'll put that back on in a week.
Can you make the noise persist into other people's computers? Because then that would be better. Like, if I could be in a raid and I'd be like, "Bagak! Bagak!" and then, like, you know, I could just...
Oh, we're doing that. We're doing that.
Yes, that would be...
Oh, please, no, I would kill you. I'd be like, you know what, game
No,
sounds
here's
muted.
what we do. We make a mod that's like a system of mods where if you have the mod, you hear what everyone else has done. And people can put in, like, bleep noise, rubber chicken, moo cow, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So it'd be what? Like,
We were going to completely redo the sound system.
Jeez. No, but to answer your question, Honors, I think the modding community is really solid, like you just said in chat. I mean, it's a lot of the older modders from World of Warcraft and some from the older. Yeah, I know. Some from like the.
I know.
Older...
I just got an idea.
Would you shut up? So.
No, but this is a good one. This is a good one.
What's your idea, Shrek?
We make a mod so that whenever you die, it plays the Dark Souls 2 "You Died" thing across your screen.
Okay, so only people who are fans of Dark Souls would think that's a good idea.
Everyone will think it's a good idea.
No. Anyway, but I mean I think that what needs to be done now is the mods need to be updated and restylized into the form of what the new UI looks like. Obviously, we don't really know what any of the things is going to be until we actually test it. We saw some information at PAX, like the Warrior UI, the Rogue UI, Thief. Dang it, wrong game again. Stalker. There we go.
Rogue, Thief, Bandit, Halfling.
Actually,
Halfling's
in Half-Life it was called the Burglar, but whatever.
Burglar?
Rumors of a Team Fortress mod. There. Dude, that would be actually sweet on Res. That would be what he's talking about is having so like in Team Fortress, there's like little
they'll have the
voiceovers.
lady play over it.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be great. And then they have they could like put in the voices of the actual Team Fortress 2 guys for your class.
I'd be okay with that, but that'd be kind of some copyright issues probably. So.
It's a mod. No one cares.
Yeah, well, it's Valve. They wouldn't care anyway.
As long as you can't pay for it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but anyway, back to Warplots. Onrez, you've officially derailed the show. You are official member of our community. So hats off to you, sir. Very good job. Yeah, we're good.
Sign up for our guild.
Well, yeah, there you go. Also orbital lasers in Warplots because why not? Tyramus. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the overall hazards for the Warplots that were spoiled over the weekend?
I think that the nuclear thing is pretty sweet. The jump pad thing may or may not be sweet. I don't know, man. I'd have to look at all of the stuff to be like.
There's a teleporter pad.
Yeah, like it's
teleporter
a jump
pad.
pad.
That'll be great. I like that.
There's a ton of really interesting hazards. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like they could go anywhere with this, and my creativity on this is limited. I'm gonna wait, wait and find out. Then I'll be like,
find out. Then you're gonna have to sift through 140 different plugs with more to come.
That's actually a good point, Shriggs. I mean, the just having 140 at launch is like that's a lot.
Insane.
That's a lot of stuff to go through just at launch. I mean, I could understand if they just had 50. Like 50 is reasonable, but they're like, no, let's have 140.
Like it'll be a couple of months before you run into a warp lot that's similar to yours.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is just genius. It's just Oh, it's just so cool. I mean, it's funny because there's so many different styles of gameplay in each individual guild that Warplots can be customized to. I mean, like if I was just running an all Warplot guild, I would run plugins that's just purely support and defensive, and just be like, all right, so I'm gonna turtle for the next 4 hours. You guys have fun running it against my wall, because that's how I play.
Man.
You know, that's why I play Fortress games. Like in StarCraft, I would just like build a bunch of cannons and be like, okay, come and get me. That's why I never was really any good at it, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, I remember doing that in the original StarCraft with my friends. We'd land together, and I played Protoss, and I made little Protoss turrets extend all the way, and I controlled half of the map with them. And they're like, okay, time to die, Jeff.
Well, yeah,
They got to me, but it took a while.
yeah. StarCraft 1, the super fast mod was a lot of fun to play because, you know, why not? Like as far as the customization goes, it's just there's like the world bosses and stuff, or the bosses that you can capture and bring into your war plots.
I like how that they're not permanent.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
expend
you
it
have
as
to
a
go in and get them again.
It's
That's
like great.
sweet.
Like it seems like you want to recognize when you're going up against teams. Like, all right, do we want to play against them? Oh, it's that guild. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, and not only can you fight it, you can also put
You can send them
boss,
to the other base.
yeah, a boss against another different boss and distract them while you're running past all the telegraphs and stuff. Like that's crazy. Like that's never been done in an MMO ever. Like yeah, and
hey, you know these two raid bosses?
Right.
They're gonna fight each other while you take out the base.
yeah, I mean, like in World of Warcraft, you were able to collect certain. I don't even remember what it was, but you were able to summon like big ice elementals and that kind of stuff. To help your
Yeah, that was in Alterac Valley. It was
Yeah.
the rock ice elemental and the tree ice elemental.
yeah, and like no one does them anymore.
Treebeard versus Rocky.
Pretty much, like no one does them anymore, and they just go right for the boss and just zerg it, and okay, cool, that's done. Next
No,
one.
last time I played Alterac Valley, it was just quick run past the enemy team. Okay, can we kill him fast enough? Yes, we can.
That's it. Yeah. And like. And I think that's why people were really upset at the first original war plots, because that's what everyone did, is they just kind of ran past each other. Of course, you had these, small groups that.
That's why they were calling
there.
it AV, because it's exactly like what it became.
Right, and
Not what
Carbine
it
was
used to be.
kind of like, okay, well, let's calm down. Like this is just like a complete test of like how they're going to.
You're testing whether or not you can win the match.
Yeah,
basically.
And then they're like, hey, look at all these cool hazards and all this cool stuff. I mean, Tyrmus, what did you think of the Warplot flick? I thought that was incredible.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but they're all funny. I mean, like, I just want the game.
Oh, so good. Oh, you're going to have to gush a little bit on the PvE lore instances today.
I know, I'm stoked.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
the best decision ever.
we will get to that in just a couple topics down the road there. But all right, so I think that pretty much covers war plots as far as everything that was really kind of spoiled. Win conditions, of course, are kill the enemy generator or starve your opponent out with resources. So, and obviously, players do believe count towards kill resources.
Generators, I think there's two.
Yeah, something like that. But
One on each side or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting concept. Replay says that I miss when AV took a week back in vanilla. I think everybody does, because those are some
So
pretty
I
epic battles.
go in one day, then drop into it again. It's like, hey, Phil, how's it going? Not good.
I haven't slept in days. I'm still holding this one mining camp. Yeah.
You're keeping the fight up.
Yeah, we are. All right, so we're going to go into the raid, 40-man, that was just announced over the weekend. On screen, what you're seeing is exclusive footage from PAX East that they had at the panel. And, oh my gosh, these telegraphs just look crazy. I don't think...
Yeah, Baz, are you ready to die a lot?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's funny because everyone's like, oh, this game looks easy, and everyone's going to get to 50 at max level
Look at
and
that.
content by...
Look at that. Am I pointing in the right direction?
No,
Yeah,
point down.
I think it.
Look at that.
There you go.
I don't know, like this encounter with the telegraphs like that, and that the sheer like cooperation that's needed. You notice that some of them are jumping into the tornadoes and getting thrown up onto the different shelves and like being up a little bit higher. It's It's ridiculous. And when people are telling me that they're like, "Oh yeah, they'll clear it. They'll clear this thing in like a month." No.
Like, the one
How
I
many
like the
bosses
most-
are in the How many bosses are in the 40-man raid? 40-man raid.
I don't think they actually said anything. They just
I
kind of
think
were.
it's like 8 bosses and like several encounters where it's the room you're fighting against.
Yeah, because they showed one.
It's like some ridiculous number that no one should ever have to deal with.
I'm happy they made all of the base, whatever they want to call it. I don't know, trash mobs, but like they called it something.
Base population.
Base population. They made each thing a puzzle that you get to solve, and then they kind of work their way up. That was one of the things I freaking hated. I mean, like I remember, everybody remembers this. When you're in Kara and you're like going through the whole thing, and then you reach that.
Okay, time to.
You reach that room full of like guys, and everybody runs around the room, and then that one guy just like pulls the room, and everybody gets all mad at them because they didn't know what was going on. Like seriously, what's the point of building an instance if people aren't going to go through the whole instance and enjoy all of it? Like if you're just gonna try to get around things.
The way I think of it is that each trash pull will be kind of like doing the chess match, which is always fun in Kara.
Yeah, the giant chessboard in Karazhan was definitely awesome, and I think that's what a lot of what WildStar kind of relates to is that really enjoyable. Everyone has a role and don't mess up type of thing, but that's pretty much like all of WildStar, which is just ridiculous in my head. I mean,
yeah,
it's just as far as like the raids go. I mean, if you look at some of the telegraphs that you're seeing on the screen, the videos on repeats, you're going to see some of this over and over. There's one where you have to cleanse the corruption in the room, and the boss will slowly move towards the other end of the corruption, get new abilities, and get more powerful. And if you fail, obviously bad stuff happens. Or then you have another boss that does the whole whirlwind thing, and it's just like the one that's actually.
Well, let me say something about the boss with the room.
Yeah, go ahead.
The way they described him was it's a tug of war, and when he pushes you back, he actually gets easier. It's when you start getting good and winning and pushing him to the end of his room, he starts getting harder.
So the Datascape, the 40-man raid, has 6 bosses and 16 mini bosses. 16.
Holy
wow!
Crap!
It's supposed to take 6 hours, like as a standard run.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
I am ready. Take me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I like, and that, like they were talking about that their area where you actually have to just jump around and like it's all about the raid getting across, but it has no boss in it.
We have to fight the stinking caretaker.
Yeah, the caretaker fight looks amazing.
How you're dead, like everyone.
But it was like, we get to have 0G in a raid. It looks so cool.
Yeah, I'll be streaming this tomorrow, so feel free to like jump on my channel or jump on Baz's. I'm sure he'll be streaming it at some.
Yeah, I'll be streaming once I get home. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what. Well,
last beta weekend, that like Twitch was just swamped with like WildStar stuff. You could look at anything you wanted. I'd probably be streaming my level 39 medic. My fiance has a level 45 stalker, and she wants to beat the game before the game comes out.
Let me know how Datascape is.
Yeah, like part of me wants to get to max level, but part of me doesn't. Like part of me wants
to play Warplots.
Yeah, like part of me wants to get to the max level to start, theory crafting for raiding and getting some experience and kind of going, okay, I kind of know what to do once the game launches. But the other part of me just wants to experience it for the first time and wipe 25 times and just enjoy that. Because let's be honest here, we haven't had a good raid experience in 8 years. I mean, like none of us play World of Warcraft. None of us have raided. Like most of us stopped once Cataclysm was released, and.
Well, I played it through like Wrath and stuff like that. And,
Wrath, Cataclysm, Mr. Pandora.
Like last good raid I played in was Black Temple.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you missed like Wrath.
My guild didn't get to do. Well, no, that was the last good raid I played through. I didn't get into Sunwell. That was too much for us.
To be fair, like Old War and
Old War was good.
Old War was freaking awesome, but.
And then they're like, hey, you know that thing we did exactly right? Let's not do that again.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But anyway, so the one thing I also kind of want to touch on was the devs were like laughing at the people that were like wiping in the raids because they thought that was hilarious, and they're like, see, it's actually really hard. You guys don't really know what you're doing, and I find that really, really funny. A lot of people found that offensive, which like a buddy of mine's like, oh, I don't really like that because the devs think it's funny that the game's difficult, and I'm like, yeah,
it was.
it was hilarious because they didn't know what they were doing. The guy had that giant telegraph and got rid of like half the circle. And I was just like that's fun. That's an experience that you want to experience over and over and over again because it gives you that satisfaction of we messed up, but we know how to beat this certain tactic now. Another thing that they're doing is a lot of stuff is going to be randomized. So yeah, the boss can have these 3 phases, but it can have 6 different versions of that phase, and you got to figure out. Okay, so he's doing this. Quick, everyone move to the left. Change tactics. Medics do this. Everyone goes this way, and you have to think on the fly. Like to me, that sounds like a challenge, and not like okay, he's gonna put fire here, here, and here. Everyone move there, there, and there, and then 30 seconds from now, we're gonna rotate and do the same thing for the next 5 minutes. Like that's boring. Like it was fun back in the day because we weren't really given anything else. But now that we've actually experienced some. I mean, and none of us actually experienced raiding. We've all just done the dungeons, and even the dungeons are just simply crazy. I mean, it's
Skullcano.
Yeah, Skullcano was crazy because that had kind of a randomized factor to it, which was really, really interesting. And I mean, unfortunately, that instance is not optimized to save its life, but hopefully this patch will fix some of the optimization problems. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, so much.
I think everyone's looking forward to optimization because it's bad. But to be fair, that's usually one of the last things on the list for fixing because I mean it's an MMO. Everyone has to be so fine-tuned with balance and the way raids work and the way dungeons work and adventures and make sure crafting's good and there's so many different steps to really make sure that the MMO is successful on launch, and I think Carbine's done a very, very good job of improving optimization each patch, but not really saying anything about it because I've definitely noticed an FPS increase like since the very first like closed winter beta way back when. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how well just the UI improves all the way optimized. It optimized because I know if I turn off my UI, the old one, and I'm in like Ilum or Theed, like my FPS increases by like 10 to 15. So it's obviously the UI using way too much resources than it really should be. So I think that
there are certain zones too. Like I noticed that the Exile starting zone when I was running my Mortish was just great. I was like running around 60 frames a second, and I'm not running the best graphics card I could buy, but like I'm running a 760 GT, so it should outperform a lot of people. I've also got a i7 4770K. So
yeah. Well, it's
it kind of stomps onto this kind of stuff. Like it shouldn't be very hard, but then I go into a dungeon with you, and we're like running through Skullcano, and I'm getting 25 frames a second, and it's like there's nothing I can do to fix it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that a lot of that low-level stuff is going to be tuned at this patch.
Yep.
If not, it'll be tuned by launch. I mean, they're gonna focus on the raid stuff last. And I mean, as much as everybody's going to be like the raid needs tuning, it's also the last thing that everybody's going to get attuned to do. Yeah. So the level 40 is going to get tuned last.
Attunement.
It takes so long to get there.
The level 40 is not going to be cleared probably for 6 to 8 months.
I would say 4.
You say that now, but they'll probably have it beaten in 3 to 4 months.
I'm saying 4 months because and I bet you in 3 months they're dropping a new raid.
Probably. Well, they just said that they
at least new veterans.
Months. Yeah. I think that. I mean, gosh, I can't even imagine.
That pink yo.
I can't even imagine doing those raids on veteran mode. Oh my gosh, that's. My mind hurts.
I don't think there's going to be a veteran mode.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. It's one point or another. Like
I think Dave said they wouldn't do that.
Oh, come on, Carbine. Just make it like super impossible and just like.
No, it is veteran mode at all time. It's never not veteran mode.
You'll probably only get something like that until they make an X pack and then you're out leveling it.
That's true.
Yeah, like I'm okay if they make a veteran mode when we upped levels and it's no longer relevant. It's like, hey, you want to go back there? Yes, you can. And here's max level gear that's the same level as the new level cap. I'd be cool with that.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think it'd be interesting to see what.
It's like what they did to Onyxia, but they would do it correctly.
Yeah. So, in kind of in coordination here with 40-man raids, it has orange gear, but the next level of gear is going to be pink. That pink dough, guys. I mean, it's so pink gear, which is essentially legendary gear. I mean, you have your
Pink,
epics.
No, orange is legendary. Pink is artifact.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's the standard color scheme, and then we go pink is artifact, which.
Have you seen my pink gun?
No, I haven't.
It's so cool.
Okay. Well, I mean.
And it's big.
Well, of course it's big. You're an engineer. You have giant guns. So,
Yep.
in kind of talking about these artifacts and these legendary items and gears, there's a system on the actual game itself called rune crafting, and it basically allows you to have completely different rune slots available on the same item, same gear. So, say you're doing a run and you finish it 3 times in 1 month. And you could have a different chest piece for your Esper all 3 times that have different rune slots. Now, I know people were complaining about the randomization of that kind of stuff. That was
I'm cool with it.
That was like people might like be upset with it, but I'm okay with that because one, it forces people to say you can't just run this once to get geared out and then never go back, because that's really a main problem with a lot of the end game stuff these days in MMOs. It's you run it, put it on farm for about a month, everyone's geared, okay, nothing's left. No, you want to try and get the best of the best, and if you're raiding, you want to min-max. And that's just kind of a thing with raiders. Like, you have to min-max to get the best stuff, to do the best thing, and blah, blah, blah. So, rune crafting is really, really interesting. It's not just on like raid gear and stuff. I know they talked about that it's on other gear. I know I've gotten gear with random rune slots on off-world drops and quests and that kind of stuff, so that's really cool. And instead of having like set bonuses on gear, they have it on runes. So you can have like 3 or 4 or 5 different set bonuses depending on what kind of rune combinations you have, which I think is really, really cool because that opens up another level of customization to your gear. So maybe one stalker has, hey, your impale does dot damage now, and the other stalker has, well, your impale does 30% extra damage, but cost 5 extra suit power or something it really kind of allows players to really kind of tune their play style and doesn't say, well, this cookie cutter build's the best because you have to have this type of rune gear and this type of whatever. It's, hey, this build's good for this rune gear, this build's good for this rune gear, and you can still achieve the same amount of DPS or healing per second or threat per second with all these different types of builds and still have the same looking gear but different stats on it, which I think is just phenomenal. Tyremus, what are your thoughts on rune crafting?
I like it. I'm a little bit skeptical of the fact that they randomly generate on the gear when you pick them up. So I mean, that'll be interesting. We'll see how that works out. But overall, I think putting runes in is a good idea. Yeah. I'm more stoked though. Like runes are something I've seen before, like gems or whatever the hell you want to call them, right? But I am way more stoked on imbue-ments.
Yeah.
You get a really cool looking piece of gear, and then it comes with a stack of quests that says do these and it gets better. Like what else do you want with gear? You want to be able to use it, but sometimes you don't have anything to do. So like I think that's dope. I think that would be really cool. You'll be able to just like hammer out all these quests and get a lot more.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. Shriggs, what are your thoughts on the rune system right now?
I'm not particularly a fan of gear having randomized numbers of rune slots.
Okay, why is that?
Oh, because you are rating for the best in slot gear, but when it's randomized, you may never ever get the max number of rune slots you can get for that piece of gear.
The big problem I see with that is if you're in a raid and there is a there's a tanking piece of gear that drops, and obviously the main tank's going to get it if they need to upgrade, and you do that. That main tank gets it, and it has a couple of runes on it, and those runes are not very good. Like
Right.
they don't tailor to that spec. Then the next run you go through, the same piece of gear drops. Is that person going to want to re-roll on that gear because
Right.
it might have better
Yeah.
runes? So that's
What does that mean for the person who is behind him?
yeah, and
Well,
that's
I
and I
mean,
think
yeah.
that just causes a problem when you're having to deal with that. And I'll see how it works out. Maybe it won't be a big deal. Maybe it will. Maybe some people will be angry.
I hope not.
Maybe some people, just don't care.
I mean, personally, I don't really care because it's, you know what, you're going in there to have a good time and to be challenged. I'm not going. I'm not.
Honestly,
going, Go ahead.
I don't see the need for the randomization because people are going to be raiding those raids to death
Right.
up until the point the next raid comes out because they're going to need gearing out every single person in the raid is going to take a long time.
Yeah, especially 40 people. I mean,
However, I just realized something we need to consider.
Yes.
After you beat a boss, you can buy your gear from that boss from a gem vendor with elder gems.
Right.
That's
right.
true. That might be there just to alleviate this problem, eh?
Yes.
Well, it can, but you also have to look at, okay, well, these only have, say, 2 rune slots, and that's all I'm going to get. So you have a chance of getting the same piece of, gloves, chest piece, whatever, but you have a chance of getting it with, say, 5 rune slots and just making your gear even better.
So you might go to the elder gem vendor and try to get the extra rune slots out of there.
Well, no. I don't think that it's going to come with random rune slots. I think that, obviously no one knows
might.
yet. But I think that they're probably going to do just a set number of rune slots for the gear that you can buy. I don't know. I think the randomization should happen in the raid and not in just buying off of a vendor.
Oh no, it does though. Go buy gear. Go buy any gear, dude. You can test it out in the beta.
Really?
It randomizes when you pick up. And actually,
Okay.
gear that you buy from vendors that's lower level, and I don't know if this is being changed in this patch, will randomize stats as well. So you can't even go into a vendor and buy it's better gear than you could ever buy. If you're in World of Warcraft and you go up to a vendor, you don't buy gear because that stuff is junk.
Well,
There's
what
there's
gear?
nothing you. Yeah, you would never buy that stuff, but
Right.
you can actually go and buy green gear from vendors in WildStar, but all of the stats are randomized. It tells you what primary stats it will randomize and which is primary, which is secondary, but it will still randomize what levels they are, what the secondary buff is, and things like that. So I mean, it is a gamble, and I'm not sure I'm too sold on it because I was buying stuff for my medic, and I was like, these don't work out the way
They
I
don't
wanted
make
them
any
to.
sense, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept for randomized stats. I personally don't like the randomized stats because as someone who min-maxes, it's like, okay, I want to know what I'm getting, and I mean, that's why I think crafting is going to be such an important, I guess, just way of doing things in WildStar because you're going to know what you're going to get because you can tailor the gear specifically while you're crafting. You can put Moxie on it. You can put Brutality on it. But then you have a higher chance of actually failing to make that recipe because you're trying to make it a little bit different than what it should be. So I think the risk-reward thing in crafting definitely is something that will be interesting. And it'll also be interesting, speaking of imbuements, is if we get crafting gear with imbuements on it. I think that'll be really, really cool because then that kind of allows players to say, hey, I can craft this really, really cool item for you, but you're going to have to pay for it. And it'll be available to someone who doesn't like to raid and who just likes to do, whatever you don't do in an MMO when you're not raiding. I don't know. I've always just raided in MMOs. I've never really done anything else. I mean, but there are people that just do a ton of crafting. I mean, housing is going to be a big thing. So I think imbuements really give you that really good way of making that other piece of gear last a ton longer. They even said with the imbuement system is there's one at the end of a quest line where you have to kill 2 raid bosses at once. I'm sorry, what?
That's an artifact.
Yeah, that. What? That okay? Sure, that sounds logical. Why not? Triggs, words cannot describe how blown away I was at that news. I mean, what was your reaction to that?
take me.
Fair enough.
I'm curious if they spawn it outside of an instance, like if you just spawn 2 bosses out in the world, and then like.
I just guess they have a couple bosses in the raids where you can just pull them together.
No, he said spawn.
Yeah.
Specifically, he said spawn,
Okay.
which makes me think that there's some way to spawn a secondary raid.
So it may be like an
raid.
Alec here thing where you have to summon the
But
dude
he said it
outside.
required 80 people, and the raid won't let 80 people in. So
Right.
I am guessing that that there's some
Maybe there's a
kind
separate instance that allow you to do that.
That's
or-
possible, yeah.
I don't know.
Or it could just be outdoors.
I bet you it's just spawn.
Get help from some of the other guilds for this crap.
I bet you have to spawn it too in level 50 zones.
Oh,
like,
okay. Can you imagine World
Oh,
PvP?
there, dude.
Okay, everyone in Thade, get your asses ready. We're about to fight a boss.
Or bosses. Oh, can you imagine someone summons that? They're like at like 3%, and all of a sudden this massive like raid group of opposite faction comes in and just wipes the whole raid, and then they have to do it all over again. Oh, that's gonna be so awesome. Oh, that's gonna be sweet.
On a PvP
So-
server.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
gonna have to keep that secret.
No, I don't care.
Like, if we wanna ever get that gear, we're gonna have to keep it secret from the other factions. Like, don't post on the forums.
Why would
Oh
you?
my God.
Why would you post an open invitation? Be like, hey, we're summoning these bosses. Please don't kill us. Wink. Like, no. Okay, so speaking of gear customization and that kind of stuff, they also announced these mannequins that you can kind of like add to your house. It's going to be on screen here in a couple seconds, and you can show off your different sets of gear that you have in your house when you don't want to like store it in your bank or everything. That's a great idea because you know what? I would have loved to show off my tier 2 Bloodfang gear or my tier 2 Paladin Judgment gear set. Like
Yeah.
that would be
more
so
house
cool.
stuff is more good.
Yeah, like the housing, just adding that small amount of detail into the game and just allowing players to be like, okay, well, here's more room in your bag space. We're gonna give you these cool mannequin things. To just kind of, take your gear and be like, here you go, just display it, show it off. Like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. That's
Like,
just. I would be
so
upset if they
imagine-
didn't have it though, because like the housing is the best part. Like when you just like have all of your junk you can bring back and mess
So
around.
this is what I imagine a development meeting for WildStar. Okay, everyone, give me a bunch of ideas. Okay, make all of them.
Yeah, I think that. I think housing is just going to be such a huge thing for them that
It's gonna be a massive time sink.
it's going to be a massive time sink. I know.
It'll be
Tyramus,
great. I'll love every minute of it.
Yeah, like Tyramus, I know you're gonna do the profession that does the housing stuff.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I like the idea of doing an architect and then
we'll
having
need
all the
that.
housing stuff.
Because the architecture will make our war plot stuff too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it looks like you can use a lot of that junk. It's good.
I'm really excited for the way that the crafting professions are like being involved in like actual end game things, not just like, okay, so I'm gonna make this really cool sword and then sell it on the auction house for 1,400 gold, and no one really will ever use it. It's just like a leveling weapon or something stupid. Like they're actually incorporating crafting into end game things that matter, which I think is just brilliant. So. The PAX was just a ton of fun to watch. It was funny. The live stream actually took place while I was at work, but we were so slow that day that I just sat there and just watched the whole stream. It was just great.
Didn't something come up, then an old lady walked past and heard it? Like, they were talking about dicks, and then an old woman walked past you while you were watching and slacking off.
Yeah. I was watching a Zyback video, and he said the word dicks, and an old lady.
No, that wasn't that. That was you were watching Dantane.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was watching one
But
of
I
Tom Payne's
messaged
videos.
him, and I messaged him, and I said that to him, and he was like, "Somebody was listening to my videos without headphones on in public. Ouch."
Well, I don't have headphones, so whatever.
That's
Earbuds. Get $5
Here.
earbuds.
Let me park your car.
For those wondering, I am a valet at a hospital, so that's why.
Oh, you have headphones. You got those Guild Wars 2 headphones.
Yeah.
While he's out in public.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, do
Like
no,
at
do
work,
it.
I got my
Don't
headphones
push
on.
out, Baz. Do it.
I'm not gonna wear these to work. These are
Yes,
expensive.
you will.
No, I'm not gonna wear those to
They
work.
were free.
They were free, and it was very nice of her not to give me free headphones. Oy vey. Anyway, so I like as far as PAX East goes, overall impressions so far about the game, and any of your lingering concerns, were they I guess kind of met with a good kind of punch to the face and be like, no, don't fear anything. Tyramus, we'll start with you.
What?
Do you want to talk about the story stuff first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Story time.
Sure.
So level 35
Boring
instances
stuff.
soloable by yourself that tell you the normal stories that you would get like in 40-man raids and stuff like that. Yeah. Best fucking idea ever.
Don't cuss. You're not supposed to say that.
Yes.
He was just
Yeah. That's fucked up, dude. You
No,
yell
come
at
on, no.
Oh shit! I said fuck.
Oh man.
Really, Striggs?
Okay. So best idea ever though. 'Cause
No, it is a great idea.
it's that's one of the biggest problems with doing like large group content is that you don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, I want to go down this hallway because I want to look at those books, and when everybody's like, go go go. It's like, and it frustrates people who don't care about story. They just want to play, and then you just get ragged on for it. So I think this is like the best solution ever. Just give it to the people to do by themselves. There's going to be a progression tree for armor and and weapons. There's going to be all sorts of story, and it's not in the game yet. It comes out, I think, now, or they might be holding it to launch.
I think they're going to hold it to launch. I think that would be the best idea.
But it looks good. At level 35, you can do the instance, and then the only complaint I have is that they're not doing the instances from the get-go. Like, you're not starting with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, why not start these things at like level 15?
Well, I think they're doing that because at level 15, newer players are not going to be as well diverse with the combat system. And they're not going to pay attention to the story as much as they would at level 30, like 30s. Because I've noticed that I'm not like panicking about the combat system as much now that I'm like level 30 and beyond, because I've been trained to know what to look for, how to use my skills correctly, what things I can stand in, what things I'm not supposed to stand in, and what things I have to stun or I die. So I think that the reason they did it at about a little bit above the halfway mark is to allow players to not panic about what they're fighting and just enjoy the story. So that's kind of my take on why it's a little bit why it's so late into the game. But again, that also makes it possible to have more endgame single player progression as well, because that was a lot of people's concern. And some of the forums and some of the other areas was they have endgame like group stuff, but there wasn't a lot of endgame solo stuff. Like Paz kind of solo, yeah, but this really allows you to delve deep into the lore, into the rich history, because the lore is just phenomenal for this game. I mean, yeah. I'm not a lore guy, but I actually do enjoy the lore. Like, I'm not, like, super knowledgeable about it. I haven't really read about it, but I just enjoy hearing about it and, like, reading the quests and that kind of stuff. So I think that giving players like you, Tyremus, a chance to play that...
Read.
What?
I want to read.
Read, yeah. You know, I mean... I don't know. Shriggs, thoughts. Go.
I think this is probably going to be one of the best things they can add for solo players, because even if you're not solo, you're still doing multiplayer stuff. This is going to be part of their monthly rollout of extra content, so it's like every month or so. And they'd be like, oh boy, the new story's here, I get to know more about the Wildstar lore.
Right. No, yeah, that's fair. Someone in chat...
So it's not going to be like how the Old Republic is. It's like, remember that? It's like, you get to max, and okay, the story ends, time for raid, and Battlegrounds, there's no.
Yeah, Swellstar did not handle that well at all, because it was
Instead, it's going to be like, okay, I get the story now, and now that I'm max level and I have finished the story, it's not actually done, there's going to be more to come.
Right, and I think that having them approach it in a way where it makes sense and allows players to really dive deep into that lore and just go, okay, this is a lot of fun, and then eventually say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna try this other stuff that people have been like going crazy over, like raiding. And someone in chat is so I'm sorry if I butchered this. Then Goth, I believe that's how you say
But yeah,
it.
no, I mean,
Like,
what I meant by solo is people who like when
The
they spend their time.
Nogoth. It's the Nogoth.
the
I didn't realize
Nogoth.
it was. I didn't realize it was you, Nogoth.
Yeah.
He's in the guild, by the way.
Oh.
I
So yeah, it is an MMO, but you need some things to do by yourself. I mean, there are lots of other dungeons. There's lots of other content to like do like with people. Like there's 6 adventures and 4 dungeons, but you need to have something where you can like I'm gonna go do this thing and I can repeat it and I can entertain myself with it when you're waiting on other people. And I mean, I think that's awesome.
No, I would 100% agree on that. It's Man, I mean, there's just so much information at PAX, and like I feel a little bit overloaded with information, but at the same time, I think that
it was all needed.
it really was. It was all needed. It was
None of it was fluff.
No, it really wasn't. It was
like they didn't go into PAX like, hey, you know, Walla Tiki Temple, here's 20 minutes of that of our hour-long presentation.
Yeah,
They were like, bam, 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 raids.
I would definitely agree with that. I think that it's the way that they presented themselves, and they also won, best presentation award or something at PAX. So like, they totally deserve that because I think that they were definitely the stars of PAX East. They had ads all over Boston. It was all over trash cans, taxi cabs. I mean, this was their last major push for the game, and I don't think any other MMO has ever done that before. Like, go that crazy. I don't even think Blizzard has done that before for any of their games.
In response to the Nogoth real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, farming mats. That's perfectly acceptable and entertaining, interesting solo content.
Well, technically, certain people actually do enjoy that, though, Shriggs. I mean, you have to remember, an MMO is not just about endgame stuff. It's about it's about people. It's about the socialization
because
of guilds and
there's
stuff.
no such thing as the eye gouge point, where after a certain point in your gameplay, you're like, do I want to farm more or eye gouge myself?
Right. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting kind of thing to. Thank you. I don't know. Once we get to endgame, I think we'll be a little bit more. I think different opinions than what we have now, because it is showing how the game is progressing at an endgame level. So, Shriggs, you need to put down sharp objects. You have issues, buddy.
I do, don't I?
You do. Yeah, you do. That's okay. Tyramus, as far as the I almost called it living story. Oh my gosh, as far as the lore quests go, do you think that they're going to spoil everything like in the first year, or do you think they're going to really try and drag this out?
I think that we're gonna find out what's happened to the Elden, but I think new plot lines are
we're gonna find out what happened to the Elden.
Yeah, but like right away. Like I think we're gonna find out.
And
you're gonna hit level cap. You're gonna be like, I know what the fuck happened.
Right.
I mean,
and then it's about
duck.
building on top of that.
I said duck. I know what the duck happened. So, but like. I think the way they said it is they want to release these instances more, and they want to get people involved, and maybe there'll be expansion down the road, maybe they're going to be expanding content down the road, but they're going to do stuff that's going to push the world story. And I'm betting, because right now we have a force of desire to find out what happened, and that's the driving force of the plot. But the primary antagonist or protagonist is the opposite faction right now, and I'm betting they introduce a secondary or thirdary or whatever antagonist to the story. There's got to be some big bad evil that comes more so than the what's it called? The corruption.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be something else. Or something that it gets corrupted and becomes some kind of big bad evil.
Deathwing's going to come and change universes and cause a cataclysm in Wildstar. Why not, right? I don't know. Horrible idea.
Ah!
What? What was that?
That was the sound of your horrible idea dying.
Oh, okay. Wow. So we were going to talk a little bit about PvP, but there was just too much good stuff for like the PvE side. So next week, I think we're going to focus a little bit more on PvP and just kind of what we see the future of PvP and WildStar are going to become. But for now, I'm not entirely sure how many we actually have in chat because Twitch still is not updated for me, and it's just kind of slowly spinning. But if you do not have a WildStar closed beta key for this weekend, the hashtag for the key is going to be hashtag WildStar. Well, we'll make it easy. So if you guys want to win a closed beta key, just type in hashtag WildStar into the chat, and we'll pick somebody at random, and 4 people at random, that is. And if no one wants a key, then hey, that's fine. We'll just let them sit there and collect dust and never be used for the weekend. But while that's going on, I think that it's only fair to let Shriggs talk a little bit about the patch notes changes that he read and is very experienced with about the engineer. So Shriggs, what do you think about the engineer changes that you've read?
They're great, honestly. First of all rocket launchers have been replaced with laser guns.
Really?
So instead of burst damage, it's just gonna melt everyone. It's gonna be one-hit kills.
Okay.
And the robot suit is now infinite. They completely removed the push R to activate thing. It's just on forever now. So I will always be faster than all of you, and stronger than all of you, and more durable than all of you. And because I have the exosuit on at all times, it means I have 0G at all times. So I can jump higher than all of you, and you'll never be able to reach me.
I don't remember seeing those in the patch notes.
They were there. You just have to read between the lines and move around a couple letters.
Alrighty then. So that happened. Yeah, I would definitely agree, Tarm. This is why we don't let Shriggs make decisions.
What do you about the stalker patch notes?
No, sure, go ahead.
First of all, they removed invisibility.
All right.
That's gone. Second of all, they replaced it with a magnet that's placed on the chest of the stalker, so all ranged attacks now just go straight to him. You don't even have to have your telegraphs on him. In fact, the telegraphs will curve and bend toward the stalker for you. Second, the stalker now moves at 50% less speed and cannot wear armor. They removed the ability for the stalker to wear armor, and his claws have been replaced with sporks.
That's actually really funny. All right, so what happened to the spell slinger, Shriggs?
Oh, they just ascended to godhood. They don't care about Wildstar anymore.
Okay. So how do they change warriors?
Ooh, the warrior. First off, it's not a sword anymore. It's a boat.
It's a boat?
It's a boat sword. Yeah, they're like Titanic-sized boats. They carry around Titanic-sized boats. And their armor isn't armor. It's just a big fortress. They walk around with a fortress on top of them, and you can see their tiny little legs underneath it if you bend over. It's like, yeah, there's a warrior down there. You can see his tiny little legs shuffling around the ground.
All right. Okay, so medic changes. How about those?
Medic changes. That now you don't even have to aim your attacks. It's just one big AoE that's constantly going on all the time. You could literally, all you have to do with the medic now is push the W key and turn with the mouse, and you'll start healing people.
So they don't do damage at all anymore. They're just healers.
No, it's damage and healing. Damages enemies, heals allies, and they can never die.
Oh, okay, all right. And so the last class, of course, we have is the Esper. How is the Esper changed, their Shriggs?
First off, they are no longer espers, they are now ghosts. Physical attacks cannot harm them. They have ascended the physical plane into the astral plane, but not to godhood like the spell slingers. They're just kind of ghosts. So if you attack them with a sword or a spork, it won't affect them. Second of all their charge, they can now move while using all attacks. So it's like all their standstill attacks, they can do like this.
Okay. Well,
and Chua is the best Esper, and they have become the master race.
Okay, so that was the closed weekend beta notes for this weekend, brought to you by our wonderful co-host there, Shriggs. The best part is he actually did that on the fly. That was not scripted. That was just Shrigs being Shrigs. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I write a webcomic.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, and you're very, very good at it. Anyway, well, it looks like no one wants an actual.
Wait, I got it. I found a picture of the warrior.
What are you doing?
Which warrior? You better link this to chat.
You
I did.
Whatever it is you want to show us.
What is this?
I found a picture of the warrior.
That's awesome. Boat sword. Yeah, Shrigs, did you ever make that T-shirt?
No,
Oh, man, I'm disappointed in you, sir.
I know. I'm disappointed in me too.
Well, it's funny. No one actually wants a closed weekend beta key because I think that
Everyone's in it.
Yeah, I think that Carbine actually gave enough keys to like fill Texas 4 times over. So that's
Hey.
actually really encouraging because we're going to see a lot of new players. But
Yay!
Hey,
we
we
need more
ch-
servers.
yeah, maybe it'll be interesting to see how well their server capacity can actually hold all those players.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But we will do. We will give the keys away on Twitter then, since no one in chat actually needs a key, which is actually good because that means we're all.
Good for you guys.
Stop putting scissors up to your mouth. We're gonna
I'm
see you
bored.
guys. You're always bored. You have the attention span of like a gnat.
Yeah.
You're an artist, so I guess that makes
I
sense.
burned out my patience on my family. I used to be incredibly patient and mature when I was 14.
Yeah, I can't picture you as patient and mature. That's just.
Yeah, neither can I, but it was a thing that happened.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, that's gonna wrap up the show. I do appreciate the patch note Shrigs. That was very very clever.
You're welcome. I'll read them next week too.
Oh, geez, that'll
Wait
be
until
fun.
you hear what they did to Warplots.
Oh,
We're building a community.
Yeah.
Join the forum.
Yeah.
So, in closing, as always, go ahead and check out our social media plugs, which is going to be at Challenge Failed on Twitter. Facebook is going to be Challenge Accepted. Accepted has no E's. Website is going to be challengeaccepted.com. Also, the Accepted does not have any E's. And we are going to be playing on a PvP server on the Exile side. So if you want to be a part of this little wacky group that we're going to be focusing on endgame PvE progression and competitive PvP with arenas and world PvP and war plots as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We are very, very lighthearted and drama-free, as you guys can tell, just from the show, because we just like to have fun. I mean, gaming's all about having fun and having a good time. And you know what? It's pixels. Who cares? None of that matters in the long run. Just enjoy yourself. But yeah, if you guys do want to apply for the guild, head on over to Challenge Accepted /forum, or you can check out just the main website and click on the forum at the upper right hand tab area there. We will be streaming. I'll be streaming, of course, on this channel, and then Tyremus will be streaming on his channel. Is it just /Tyremus there? Tyremus?
Yeah, it's Tyremus. That's
Alright.
me on Steam. You can always go to Challenge Accepted, no E's and accepted.com, and you can find all of our Twitch channels there.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun this week. I think I'm gonna try and get my my Dominion side stalker up to at least level 40 to try and get up there. But again, I don't want to beat the game, quote unquote. I want to save that for launch, I think. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. It's been a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun coming back and talking about PAX East. And big shout out to Carbine and the devs who just had a great time. Obviously, I know they were all really, really tired when they got back. A lot of them are sick from the PAX plague, which is unfortunate. So well wishes, and hope you guys recover quickly. Just big thanks for making this game and making this community a possibility. So that's it. That's all. That is everything for this week. Same bat time, same bat channel. God bless. Take care, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.